to another episode of TBI Uncovered Season 2, the platform that allows traumatic brain survivors, traumatic brain survivors, the disability community, wheelchair community, stroke survivors, medical professionals, caregivers, anybody associated with brain injuries, to share their stories and provide tips and resources to those impacted. On today's episode, I have a wonderful woman from New York. Oh, no, sorry, she's from Australia, but she's currently in New York. So we connected. So I'm going to bring her in now. Hi, Jess. How are you?
Hey, Erica. Great to see you.
Good
Thanks
to
for
see you
having
too.
me.
Thank you. I'm glad we got to connect. I was like, oh no. So just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do, how you got affiliated with the range community.
Yeah, sure. So, my name is Jess Brain. Yes, really. Most people don't believe me, but I can prove it with my driver's license. So, I like to say that I have a classic case of nominative determinism, which means that your name dictates your career.
Wow. I
And
never
that
knew
has
before.
sort of been the case because, I always had the name. And when I was at school, my nickname was Brain. Most people, especially girls, got called by their first name. I got called Brain. So then I was like, well, I guess with that name, I should really know something about the
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah.
And from the first book that I read, I was hooked. I was like, what is this? This is amazing. It's so fascinating. We don't know anything. We're still
Mm-hmm.
learning, and and our brains have so much potential.
They do.
So and potential to grow and adapt and heal. And I think that is the really critical thing that through the past 10 years of working in neuroscience research and then more, one-on-one client facing, what has really like upset me a lot is that a lot of people are told that their brain injury, for whatever reason,
Mhm.
is with them for life.
Wow. Yeah.
And that there's nothing you can do after having a stroke. There's nothing you can do after having a concussion or a brain injury. There's
Mhm.
nothing you can do to reverse, some of the effects from perhaps other environmental toxins or diet and lifestyle toxins that affect the brain. And that
Yes.
is not true at all. That is previously held dogma that you were born with a finite number of brain cells and then that's all you had for your life.
Mhm.
But now that the science has been around for about 20 years now, that proves that at any age, your
Different.
brain has the capacity to heal and regenerate and grow,
Yes, I believe that.
which is
I think
so exciting. And
it's exciting.
I just love to be able to remind that to people because often I come across people who've had stroke or brain injury and
Yeah.
they've been told that's life for now, and then they sort of live their life as if there's no possible chance of it improving. And
Mhm.
that is so detrimental because it's the mindset that is the number one thing
Yeah.
that is important to get right. And then you can start to work on some of the other aspects. So what I was doing since the pandemic, had a
Mhm.
bit of extra time on my hands.
Yes.
And of course, people not doing so well emotionally, mentally, in mental health, huge mental health crisis.
Sure.
And so finding opportunities to work with people. And I've put together these sort of one-on-one brain fitness coaching sessions.
Okay.
So they're very gentle, but it's about working with someone to find a tailored approach that is going to help them improve their brain, their physical brain,
Okay.
as well as activate the body
Okay.
and all the senses to sort of upgrade the mind.
Okay.
And you can do that by sort of looking at all the different senses of the body, being
Mhm.
mindful in how you eat,
Okay.
being mindful in how you communicate. We spend so much time talking, but
Yes.
we don't actually
Have-
focus too much on how we're communicating and whether or not we're being an effective communicator.
Very true.
what language, what words we're using. Even we know now that there is a lot of science behind the idea that the words that come out of our mouth have a really powerful impact on our,
Absolutely.
psychology, our mind, and our physical body.
Absolutely.
So I work with people to sharpen and sort of become more mindful about communication. And that is actually a really powerful way to get someone's mind thinking faster and sharper in a really short amount of time.
And it's your coaching aspect of it. And you also do, is that the coaching or is that the neurobics instructor part?
So that's the sort of coaching. The neurobics is about activating the different senses of the body.
Okay.
So, Erica, I have a question for you.
Yes.
How many senses do you think we have?
Well, technically, you say we have 5 senses.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have more, but technically it's 5 senses.
So Aristotle said 5, and I think we are just one sensory being.
Okay.
Everything falls under a sense.
Okay.
And if you think about it, say temperature.
Mm-hmm.
That's a sense. We can sense whether something's hot or cold.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not you've been got food poisoning.
Mm-hmm.
That is another sense. One of my favorites is ticklishness.
Ticklishness.
Yeah.
Ticklish, like.
Yeah, when someone tickles you.
Oh goodness, that's a thing.
Well, the thing is, it's part of touch.
Yeah, that's true. Feeling, yeah.
So, and the great thing about tickling somebody else is a great way to give to someone's health, brain health especially. You might not think it, but by tickling someone, you're actually putting them in a heightened state of stress, just a small sort of stress, and it's in a positive sort of happy moment in a way.
Okay.
You're a little bit stressed, you're happy, you're giggling,
Yeah.
you've got that social interaction. And so what happens in that moment, it actually helps activate the brain.
Oh, wow. I never thought about like that. Thought about that way. Wow. Because so that makes sense. That makes sense.
So
Wow.
if you have siblings and you were ever tickled, by your siblings, you can probably turn around to them now and say, "Thank you for making me so smart and keeping my brain healthy and active."
Right. That's cool way to look at it. Cool way to look at it.
Right?
Wow, and that's interesting that you said that. Let's blow me away. And so, so what's one brain exercise hack that you can share with us as well? Like one of the exercises that you normally typically do for a patient that you have.
Yeah, sure. So I have lots of different ones. It depends whether there are communication ones that talk about just language or creative thinking, divergent thinking. So look at how someone's thinking,
Right?
How they're communicating, looking at the different senses of the body. You can sense how much you need to pee right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that is still a sense as well. So it's about being mindful in the moment to be aware of your body.
Okay. So is there a particular exercise that you can do that we can do together that you can demonstrate how that works?
Yeah, sure. So this is one of the exercises which I think is quite fun. So with your finger in the air, I want you to draw a triangle. Triangle. Okay. Now with your other finger, I want you to draw a circle at the same time. Sometimes the circle has very hard edges.
Yeah, wow. That's interesting.
And so what it's doing, it's getting you to focus and concentrate. And by doing sort of exercises that are using both sides of your body, you're actually helping to strengthen the connection between the two hemispheres of the brain. So the corpus callosum that runs down the middle of the two hemispheres, this way you're helping bridge them together. And that means that your brain can process information faster and more efficiently. And by encouraging this sort of novel, new training methods and exercises, you are actually helping to grow new connections between brain cells.
Now, would that be neuroplasticity?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Neuroplasticity, but neurogenesis. So
Okay.
grow new brain cells to begin with.
Okay.
But the thing is, when you're growing new brain cells, that comes from sort of diet, exercise, but also novelty, doing things differently, unexpected, new learning.
Yeah, we turn it into different things. Yeah.
So that's a neurogenesis. But then the neuroplasticity is about making sure that, again, you're doing new things, but to keep these new brain cells
Yeah.
activated.
Like doing it over and over again, like repetitive, repeating like repetition.
Well, repetition, but also adjust it slightly. Perhaps it's perhaps you're doing a similar exercise, but you're doing it in a different room.
Okay, I got you now.
You are with a different scent.
Okay.
Perhaps
Right.
you're more aware of the fabric or different types of clothing that you're wearing in that moment.
Okay.
So that when you're growing new brain cells, you need to stimulate the brain cells.
Okay.
But if you don't keep them entertained and engaged, they will die off.
Wow. Okay. If you didn't use it, you'll lose it, so to speak.
Exactly. Yeah. So you need to keep them entertained and activated because it takes about 3 to 4 weeks for new brain cells to actually become fully formed. And then they can stick around. And that's the most wonderful thing, is that anyone at any age, at any sort of stage of brain injury, there are still these little small simple exercises that are all sort of couched in contemporary neuroscience,
Okay.
and mindfulness practices to help bridge the two hemispheres and to help you think faster and sharper. So the end goal of this neuroplasticity is that you can build cognitive reserve.
Okay.
Are you familiar with cognitive reserve?
Kind like thinking on like, I don't want to say pause, but similar to like you have something stored away. Would that be correct? Yeah.
It's like the brain's backup plan, insurance.
Yeah, like a hard drive kind of like the backup hard drive. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, so that if there is some wiring in your brain between two brain cells and that's damaged or not working, then the brain still has another connection, or maybe 3 or 4 different avenues where it can still transfer that information or retrieve information.
That's amazing. Wow, that's amazing. So how does someone become a neurobics instructor? How does someone become something like that?
Well, I just spent many years researching all the different senses and as many activities that I can find that will engage the senses. So I'm currently building out a program to teach other people how to be a neurobics instructor.
Okay.
But at the moment, I do one-on-one brain fitness coaching sessions where I go over the neurobics aspect to teach people, not that they're going to need me for the rest of their lives, but to teach people the tools so you can, at any moment, you can say, all right, I'm going to this event and I want to be able to remember this event. So you just drop down into this moment and you practice these mindfulness elements that make all of your senses heightened and aware, and you're conscious of them.
Okay.
So then when you go to remember it next time, you remember what it smelled like.
What it felt like.
What it felt like. What where were your feet? Were they in the water? Were they in the sand?
Yeah.
So you can go through the list and have a sort of structure, and you've got all these tools ready to go. So it's, I work with people from all backgrounds and helping to shift the mindset first, so people know that it is possible to grow and change and heal.
Definitely.
And then teaching people things that will work for their diet and their lifestyle that they can easily incorporate and start to really feel your brain switched on and more alive and alert.
Yeah, exactly. I love that because I mean, it's nothing like feeling like you're out of it. Like you can't. A lot of people can have like memory issues.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't remember anything, and so it's like if I can remember how I felt, if I can remember how I sounded or how I smelled, you know, there'd be just the smallest things, the smallest details that can enhance your memory. So I love that. I love that aspect. So what's been the most interesting thing you learned about the brain so far? 'Cause you know a lot of things. So what's the one thing that's the most like out of this world that you learned?
I think the one thing that I've really been getting fascinated about more recently is about teaching people how to drop into different brainwave states.
Okay.
So how to drop into a theta brainwave state so that you can be more creative and a better problem solver.
So theta is the creative part?
Pardon?
Theta is the creative side of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that when you can, use your dreams to help you solve problems or your meditation practice.
Okay.
And, I think that there's still so much there that we don't understand,
Yeah.
but we are learning. And within the next 10 years, our knowledge level is just really going to shoot up, I think, in terms of our understanding.
So it's theta, gamma, beta?
Alpha, beta, theta, gamma, and delta.
Okay. Do
Yeah.
we know all those or just that one?
I don't think that anyone really knows how, all the different ones. There's actually, we're still learning so much. And the alpha is, the fundamental brain wave, or at least that's what we thought.
Yeah.
But scientists have done studies on these people who live out on remote islands, and they're very, very far removed from our sort of civilized life. And they have done EEG assessments on their brain, and they've found that they don't have alpha.
That's interesting.
They don't have what scientists have thought was sort of foundational brainwave.
Wow.
And then there's this other brainwave. What's it called? I can't remember. But there's another brainwave that only people who are, have been meditating for a really long time, they have that brainwave.
The brainwave.
Open to them. And it makes me wonder, are there potentially more brainwaves than perhaps just the 5? Because now we know that there are more than 5 senses.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
So there's a lot that we don't know. There's a lot that we do know, but I like being able to remind people that there's a possibility to change and creating like a joyful and a happy environment, because it's in that moment when our brains are more alert and our brains are more receptive to new information, and we're more likely to be in the flow state.
Okay.
So where we can sort of think faster and have more eureka moments, more creative ideas, and we're also more likely to remember things if we're in that flow state.
Okay. So when I think of flow state, I think of like relax, more like sleep, like you're ready for bed. Then more so remembering stuff more.
Well, flow state is more. It's like a lot of people say that when you get into the shower, or when you're doing something that's just a little bit of challenge,
Okay.
You're relaxed, but you're slightly challenging yourself.
Okay.
In a happy state.
Okay.
And that is sort of the key elements for, having great ideas and inspiration.
So flow state a lot then, I guess.
Tell me that. Say that again.
I'm in the flow state a lot because I'm always thinking of things like, am I not in the flow state? Like,
Fantastic. I love that. That means that you always sort of challenging yourself in a little way, which is great.
Wow. Interesting. I
The
love that.
other thing that I really like, and I always remind people at the beginning of our sessions, is to just open a little smile.
Yeah, and I love smiling. That's not an issue for me. So
I love that. I can tell. I love it.
it makes your day, you know.
Absolutely. Well, the thing is, when we're smiling,
Use your energy.
it's very hard to think negative thoughts.
Hmm.
Try it. Try it. It's very hard to think negative. And then when you're laughing,
Yeah.
laughing is, I surprise people, I guess, when I tell people that laughter as a regular practice
Hmm.
is a mindfulness practice.
Okay.
And it doesn't seem like it would be, but what happens in the moment when you're laughing, you can't think about anything else. You could only be in the present moment because your whole body and brain just takes over. And even if you're fake laughing,
Yeah.
you are telling your brain and your body that you are happy.
I got you.
Well, your brain can't really tell the difference between what's real and what's simulated. So your
Mhm.
brain thinks you're genuinely happy.
Wow.
And it just takes over, and that channels all the way through, even at the cellular level, to be able to, boost your immune system, even, fight off cancer cells. So there are just so many health benefits.
Now, is that where your laughter class came in at?
Yeah.
I said, what's a laughter class? Like, how do you have a laughter class? You teach you how to laugh or something? Like, what is a laughter class?
You've never been, Erica. You have to come
No.
today.
I never heard it before. Like, it's only in Australia that's like that.
Well, no, actually, it started in India about
Really?
26 years ago. This guy, he was a doctor in India, and he figured out the sort of, laughter could help heal our health. So he created a laughter club in the park, and he got all of his friends to meet every morning, and they were loving it. Everyone was telling jokes. But by the end of the week, the jokes sort of turned a little sour, and he was told to quit the club and cancel it and whatever. He didn't want to do that. He knew that there was still some good in it.
Yeah.
He came up with this idea of sort of laughter exercises and breathing techniques. And so during the pandemic, I started a weekly laughter club, and we do laughter exercises, breathing techniques, and also a bit of clapping and chanting, because that also helps activate all the acupressure points on the hand to boost our energy levels.
Okay.
And what I really love about having this as a regular practice is that it brings me a lot of joy, and I see it bring joy on other people.
Definitely.
Like, people sometimes they'll turn up to my class, and maybe they don't have their camera on. They're not in the mood, or they're not feeling, they're looking for something to boost them. And I get that. And so I invite people to have a camera on, because when you can see someone's facial expression in their eyes, you're more likely to laugh. So I encourage.
Or smile.
Yeah, exactly. But some people don't. But then they'll write to me afterwards, and they say, "Jess, I feel better now. Thank you." Just to listen to other people laughing. It has that infectious quality where you can just be walking down the street and you hear people laughing, and you don't know them. You don't know what they're laughing about.
I laugh all the time to hear someone laugh. It's like it's contagious.
It
is contagious to me.
So that's been a lot of fun, having that as a regular practice every week, and being able, especially during the pandemic, where we're not socializing.
Yeah, need it.
We're not socializing, so therefore we're missing out on laughter because we're missing the social connection.
Yes, that's true.
But Zoom, thankfully, has afforded this opportunity where it easily can connect with anyone all over the world. Laughter is free.
Thank you. It's like medicine. The Bible says like medicine. Life is like medicine.
Well, the thing is, even today in my laughter club, I had a guy join from France who barely spoke any English.
Okay.
I speak a little bit of French, but it didn't matter.
Yeah. Laughter is universal. Laughter is universal. So
yeah,
Yeah.
we were still
Well,
able to laugh together. And that's the beauty of laughter, is that it crosses all the boundaries and all cultural divides. And when I first started back in September, the first week that I started, the New York Times came out with an article about laughter
laughter.
practice.
Wow.
Great
How
time.
hard is that?
And they said that, having laughter can reaffirm one's humanity.
Okay, wow.
And I really like that. And I guess when I do my laughter club now, I take snippets from my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, I fell over and I hurt my knee. Oh. And then we'll do a laughter exercise about that. Or, I opened the cupboard and all the pumpkin seeds fell all over the floor just after I'd cleaned the kitchen.
Like, oh goodness. Wow. This still stuff.
But those exercises teach you, that laughter can be a tool for resiliency.
Mm-hmm.
In times where it's difficult and it's tough
Yeah.
and you're struggling or you're annoyed,
Yes.
and laugh. Or if you're in pain, laughter can actually help boost your endorphins and therefore reduce the pain that you're
Make
feeling.
you feel better. So why is brain injury awareness important to you personally?
Pardon?
Why is brain injury awareness important to you?
Well, I've been working in the field for a long time now, and it breaks my heart to see so many people lose hope.
Mine too. It's very common.
It's awful.
It's disheartening. Very disheartening.
It is.
I agree.
And the fact that it's doctors and nurses who are telling these people there's no hope, there's nothing you can do. And I'm like, what? So there's that. I have two grandparents who passed away from Alzheimer's. And, I still think that there's a lot of, as well as injury from a concussion, stroke. There's also can be a lot of self-inflicted brain injury.
Yeah, it is.
That comes from diet and lifestyle choices again. And my sister has recently been diagnosed with Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome.
What is that?
It is a form of dementia that is brought on by alcohol. So it's just, toxin to the brain. And she's 50 and she has the brain of an 85-year-old.
Wow. It's disheartening.
And I see so many people sort of their brains and the trajectory of their cognitive health just falling apart. And part of that we haven't been aware, we haven't had enough information, or it hasn't got out there quickly enough.
Yes, agreed.
But I want to be a huge advocate. I just keep telling people, just someone give me a megaphone.
Yeah, you are an advocate.
A megaphone. I want to tell as many people.
Say the world.
One brain at a time.
One brain at a time, yeah. One brain at a time.
So, there's a lot of reasons, and I just want people to have this information.
Yes, that's
at their disposal that they can use in any moment, because even one of I think the world's most famous neurobic exercise is learning to brush your teeth with your less dominant hand.
Yeah.
Are you right-handed or left-handed?
I was right-handed before I got injured, but now I'm left-handed.
Okay, you switched it up.
Yeah.
Well, so what I would recommend then for you, perhaps, and what I do now is I'm normally right-handed. I am teaching myself how to write left-handed. It's been a bit of a process.
I'm sure.
But also to brush my teeth with my left hand. And then as you get comfortable with that, perhaps you stand on one leg while you're doing it.
Wait a minute, Jess. Wait a minute. Stand on one leg. You're doing yes, that's a lot.
Or perhaps take brushing your teeth out of the bathroom and brush your teeth in the kitchen.
Okay. Or the other room, or the bedroom, or just another room in the house.
Just to change the environment.
I like that. That's definitely something I can try.
Maybe go and stand in front of the window instead of in front of the mirror.
Yeah.
You're just
I love that.
Tiny little things that you can do just to switch up your environment, your mindset, your approach to something.
I love that.
Just so your brain starts to work away.
It's very simple. It's very simple.
Exactly.
Well, I love our information you shared. It's like between today, I started yesterday, so it's so much information between yesterday and learning from the other survivor to with you. Like I'm like it's all overload. So I thank you so much for your time and all the information you share. It's been amazing. I was from Australia. Like it's amazing. Like,
well, thanks for having me, Erica.
Tell people where they can follow you at to get more information or if they want to stay connected.
Yeah. So, Brainovator or the Brain Bar is my online store. So doing one-on-one brain fitness coaching sessions, and about to put out a short course as well. So stay tuned.
Yes, I love it all. That's what you have going on. Stay happy.
And you have to come to the Laughter Club. I'll send you the link.
It's virtual?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'll definitely go. Yeah, I'd love to go.
Yeah, it's about, but I guarantee you're probably going to feel silly, but I can also guarantee you'll have fun.
I'm game for
it. 30 minutes of laughter. It's free. It's fun.
I love it. I love smiling already, so add laughter to it. That's the
I love it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Erica.
Thank you so much. And thank y'all for watching TBI Uncovered. I'm Renee signing out. Bye.
Bye.